I think it's pretty safe to say Batman is one of, if not the, most iconic superhero of all time. He has dominated pop culture for decades now, whether it's comics, games, movies, or the topic of this video, TV shows. There have been a total of 13 shows dedicated to the Caped Crusader. Some good, while others, However, without a doubt, the most iconic Batman show is... Calling Batman the animated series iconic is a very gross understatement. It not only revolutionized Batman media, but superhero media in general. Whether it was the introduction of Kevin Conroy's Batman, the creation of one of the most popular DC characters, Harley Quinn, or the nuanced look at Batman's iconic rogues gallery, the show truly was revolutionary. Even 29 years after the animated series' end, it's still looked at as one of the best Batman adaptations ever. So in May of 2020, when it was announced Bruce Timm, one of the minds behind Batman the Animated Series, was developing a new Batman show, my excitement was through the roof. The show is a reimagining of Batman's early years with new takes on the Caped Crusader's mythos in a noir-inspired setting. The show premiered August 1st, 2024 on Amazon Prime to mixed reviews. It currently sits at a 94% on Rotten Tomatoes, but has a 55% audience score. Some critics labeled it as fresh and a return to the very foundations of Bruce Timm and Paul Dini's character-defining Batman the Animated Series. While some audience reviews labeled it as boring, and some even saying it feels like a parody. But is it as bad as some people say, or is it really as good as critics make it out to be? In my opinion, I feel like both sides are exaggerating. While I personally like the show a lot, overall I think it's good but not great. I'll start off with what I think the show gets right. Firstly, while I think the animation could definitely be better, I love the art style. The character designs are so well done and have different takes on classic characters that can still be recognizable. I like Commissioner Gordon and Alfred's designs a lot, but those are pretty hard to mess up. Detective Montoya and Barbara have solid designs, but I think the villains are where the character designs shine. I absolutely love the Clayface design. Clayface is one of my personal favorite Batman villains, and I think it's cool we got something other than a giant clay monster for once. I also think the design works really well for the mysterious whodunit tone of the episode. Some other standout designs are the Gentleman Ghost and Two-Face. Both are unique and interesting, I just don't have much other to say than they look cool. Speaking of Two-Face, his arc throughout the season, leading up to his eventual turn towards evil, I think was really well done. Watching him go from someone with good intentions who wanted to make the city a better place, even though his methods were off, to a maniac hell-bent on revenge, was a very interesting and tragic to watch. I think the voice actor also did a fantastic job, and really elevated the character a ton. Next, I'd like to talk about the music of the series. I think the composer Frederick Weidman did a very good job, especially with the intro. Unlike other intros, it's very quiet and slow, with strings that create this dark, mysterious atmosphere that swells into the title card. The music of the series can be described as slow and atmospheric, but they elevate scenes greatly. But now let's talk about what I think the show didn't do so well. The animation, while never awful, definitely could use some improvements. Scenes can feel stiff or awkward at times, and when you compare it to other comic book shows releasing, it definitely doesn't look the best. However, I wouldn't really blame this on the team who worked on it. I think they did a good job despite the production facing budget cuts and moving to different streaming platforms. Also, while I think the sidecast is overall pretty solid, some characters definitely should have been focused on more. Like Commissioner Gordon, for example, doesn't get anything to do throughout the show and is barely in it. I also think some villains were done way worse than others. Penguin and Catwoman were overall pretty whatever, both feeling forgettable. However, the character of Flash just straight up sucked. He is such a nothing character who is just cartoonishly evil for the sake of it. My final complaint is that I wish they would have done more with the setting. It's supposed to be a noir story set in a Gotham that looks to be in the 40s or 50s, but it doesn't do much with it, with the exception of the Clayface episode. It really could have been set in the modern day and not much would change. Those are really my only complaints, and are kind of easy to look past since I think the show gets way more right than wrong. The next thing that I'd like to discuss is the show's Batman. I wanted to dedicate a whole segment to him since I have a lot to say. Firstly, I absolutely love the design. The suit is very simple, but I think the simplicity is what I like so much about it. It's a modern rendition of his first appearance that I just really like. I also think Hamash Linklater absolutely nailed the character. Watching him switch between the playful and light Bruce voice and the firm and serious Batman voice was really well done. And I like that you can hear a difference in them, but the Batman voice isn't over the top and silly. But my favorite part of this Batman is his development. This is a Batman who still hasn't moved past that night in Crime Alley. He's very closed off towards everyone and only sees them as tools he can use. But throughout the season, you can see his walls slowly start to crack. The longer he's Batman, the more of a hero he becomes. Watching this Batman, who started off cold and distant from everyone, grown to someone who cares about people and does whatever he can to save them, is truly amazing to watch. His arc is really well done, and that combined with a great design and voice acting all mixed together to create, in my opinion, one of the best Batmans in modern media. So with all of that into consideration, is Batman Caped Crusader worth watching? Yes, it is. While it has its problems for sure, I think the good outweigh the bad. The show had a great Batman, some cool fights, and some really cool and different takes on Batman's lore and characters. Overall, I'd give Season 1 a 7 out of 10. Season 2 has been confirmed and is slated for a release sometime in 2025, and I look forward to it a lot because I think with some minor improvements, this show could go from good to great. Thank you for making it to the end of the video. Have you seen Batman Caped Crusader? If so, let me know what you think in the comments. Also, if you liked the video, consider leaving a like and subscribing. Any support is greatly appreciated.